we'll bring this road in, it'll connect up, and then this can be a parking lot. Oh my God. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Walden. And in the last part, we built out this section of Cargo City. It is beautifully detailed. I'm a huge fan. I'm waiting to see your guys' comments, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, because I think this is the kind of goal for the rest of the industrial, really throughout the entire build. This is the level of detail we need in our industrial sectors. And we also built out Grain Hill, which, although it only has 61 jobs, it's producing a ton of goods and was able to help us get over at least over our production line with our grain. So now we finally have a surplus here, which is fantastic. We also still have a surplus of fish, and we are getting closer to eliminating the deficit for cotton. So we still have a deficit for cotton, for vegetables, and for poultry, but we didn't actually build any livestock farms in the last part, so that's not surprising that that hasn't changed all that much. Now, we've spent, 3-4 weeks over in this area of the city, and slowly they're expanding to connect and meet one another. But today, I want to focus around this section of our city. I want to start off by getting a little interchange set up right here. We've got this road here, Briar Rose Street, which I'm actually just going to rename this to Rose Street. I don't think we need the word Briar in front of it. So we have Rose Street right here, right along Thornbury. And I think we're going to actually change this too to Thornbury Ave. And we can leave this as Rose Ave. How about that? Just because they're larger roads. I think that makes a little bit more sense. So we've got Rose Ave and we have Thornbury Ave. And right here would be a perfect spot to have some type of highway connection. I am just thinking it might be as simple as having 4 off-ramps come down. I don't think it needs to be anything super extravagant. Is this far enough away? If I was to come something like this is not exactly what we would build, but if I was to do this, I think this is far enough away that it won't cause too many issues. We could also consider doing something in the middle, but that's not really my preferred. If I can avoid that, I absolutely will. So let's just do a simple little interchange right here. I'm going to change our elevation step all the way down to the smallest one we can get. And I think at first, we're just going to go straight on out from here. Let's do this to here. And then what I want to try to do is figure out how we get this to curve in. And hopefully I'm not too close to the train. I thought I saw, there's one option right here. What does that look like? Is that terrible? Not bad. I do think I need to rebuild this though. I would prefer that this have constant slope on, which isn't the worst, although this particular connection does need some support. If I just raise this, and I want to see these 2 white lines connect. There's our 2 white lines connected. It definitely gives you a bump, for sure. Like, it's not the smoothest connection. We're already getting some train traffic. Luckily, though, that train traffic, that was not even intentional, but the train traffic stops, and you can still have people cross over, which is pretty nice. I will go ahead and upgrade this little portion here so that we have a little slip lane for the traffic going in, which is perfect. And then I think we're just going to do the same thing kind of along all 4 sides. So it just gives us an extra interchange here. It's nothing crazy, nothing extravagant. Do I expand the exits so that we have multiple lanes here? Because we could easily place this here and have multiple lanes going left, right, and straight. We can't go there, but we could either go here in the middle or here to the side. I think we do the 3-lane, and I think we actually grab the traffic mod, lane connector tool, click on here, and we remove this connection. No reason for you to go straight there. We're also going to remove unsafe turns. You don't need those. You got left and you've got right. I think that works out pretty nicely. Then on this side, I think we just do the same thing. It's a much smaller section here. Do we just dive right into a huge 3-way change? No. This one, here's what we do. We do a 2-lane on this guy. I mean, I guess right here at the end, you could do, not that. You could do just a quick little turn off for those going to the right. It would make sense right now because it's a small area. There's no development next to it, but I think that might make less sense as we continue to expand this area. But for now, we'll do something like that. I mean, we could even consider expanding this to have 2 lanes to kind of get you prepped for the 3-lane moment. And then to get here, you do have to still go around this roundabout, but this traffic has been working pretty well. I do think in the future, we are going to create another connection point that goes right from here and maybe connects right into this node. And honestly, now that I say that, I almost just want to do it. If I was to come off of here, I'm going to have to use Anarchy because I've lowered that bridge. But say I came off of this, right? And we sent this essentially straight out. Let's turn everything off, right? Can we, if I turn off Anarchies, it's still going to say we're clipping to the other guy. It's not. Okay. Can we start to force this over? It needs to be at 875 to get over this road. And we're definitely not going to reach 875 before that. I mean, I guess we could also start to curve here, but I don't think we're going to be able to go underneath of this. We really need to go, I guess, above, no? Because I guess if I could get, I know that if we go to 875, we can get this to curve, you know, over top, allegedly. Right here we can go over, but I can't get over this. Where would I need to be to get over this? 17.5? 18.75. You know what? I'm thinking of a road. There's this road that's near me on 95 where you've got like a slip lane, but it also still reconnects all the way through. Maybe we do something like that. Like, what if this road here, get rid of this guy. We don't need this. Bring it over like so. And then we can bring it around this way. And look, is it getting a little spaghetti? Heck yeah, it is. Nothing wrong with a little spaghetti. And if we were to bring this in, you've now got, well, you do have to make one transition, and it's going to cause a little bit of extra traffic because the people coming onto Franklin Wood Highway here could presumably also transfer over to get off. So we've got to keep an eye on all this. This might get a little busy. We could even consider just doing this and giving this a 2-lane. That way those who are turning off don't ever have to transition if they don't want to into the other lane. I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Now we got to get it connected in though. Now it could come down and just connect earlier. I think what I want to see, we've got a lot of people come down this way. Sorry guys, you're going to have to figure out a new way to get into the city because I need to mess around with this a bit. Let's upgrade this. We'll use Anarchy just so that we can get that upgraded. And then I'm going to do a 4-lane connection right here. And we'll do a 3-lane connection just behind it. And then what I'd like to see is a 2-lane road come off of here. It can actually go ahead and start raising up. 7.5 increase. And then we should be able to do 1 lane that's going to curve right from here straight up to here. And then the other lane is going to curve from here. Actually, it's not going to curve at all. We're going to go straight. We're going to curve it right here. We're going to go right here. Turn this back on. Better yet, I'm going to just build it this direction. I'm trying to get crazy, y'all. I'm trying to get crazy. And then if I do turn on snap to existing geometry, that turns not as bad. We'd rotate this around. So now there is a dedicated lane to get you to the other side. Is it getting spaghetti? 100%. That's kind of the fun, though. This is a bit of a tight turn, but you're also so high up, I would hope you're going a little bit slower. I'm not mad about it. We're going to see how it holds up. Now, with that in place, let's get a sense of our terrain over here. Well, it could not be any better. Look at that. That is phenomenal. I think what I want to do is I want to do some like NA row homes over in this area with a few taller buildings. But let's do this. I mean, right off the bat, you can clearly see we've got this connection here. I'd love to extend that out. So let's go ahead and grab this. We'll put bike lanes on both sides just to kind of continue. This is a bike, part of our bike highway. Part of me could see this going underneath these trains. and somehow connecting, maybe even comes down and does this like crazy curve and connects in, or it comes this way and allows for an integration with the canal, which we also need to consider expanding. If I was to upgrade both of these into bridged sections, right? Bridge section, both of those. Let's then go here. No, let's go here. Let's bring this down to... Really, 10 is probably fine. Let's do 10. I'm fine with that. But I want to keep it stuck to the ground. If this was to come just like this, right? I do wonder if it can be slightly higher. Like if I was to do 875, would that work? It would. And if I go diagonal here, can we do 7.5? Ooh, we can do 7.5. We can do 6.25. But we can't do 5. All right, let's do 6.25. And actually, let's send it like this. And then we'll do a curve connecting from there into here. Let's do this. Get rid of this guy. Connect from here over to here and connect up and in. What do we think? What do we think? I think that's actually pretty decent. Then I'm going to take this road and we're just going to send it right back up to ground level. 4.8, that's perfect. I'm just going to send it straight for now. I do imagine this... Actually, I don't know. I kind of want to have this connect over to here, so maybe we don't do this yet, because I think I might need to get a bridge in here once we continue to expand that canal, which I do need to revisit. I haven't touched the canal in a minute. I think it's about time we go back to that. Let's lower the sides a little bit more where she begins to drop. It does also mean I want to at least turn a section of this into bridge. The whole thing doesn't need to be bridged, but a portion should be. Get rid of both of those. We'll then also continue to smooth this out. And then let's just smooth these edges. I'm going to drop this down to 40, I'd say. A little smooth section along both sides. There we go. Oh, that actually looks fantastic. Because it looks like the terrain isn't even changing that much. I like when you can completely hide the elevation changes. Like right here, I'd love to hide that elevation change, but unfortunately the only way to do that is to key wall this guy. And then we can really get in here and begin to slope that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. Now that gives us another road to kind of work off of. But first things first, we probably need to continue building out our key wall network, just like so. Which is exciting because now we've got the opportunity to have more ferry stops as well. Let me try to raise this up a little bit. We do have some clipping here. It's making it like this is a little bit too deep. That'll eventually disappear. So we're just going to let it hang out. All right, let's figure out where we actually want there to be key walls, because I don't want all of this to be key walled, but I'm going to have to anarchy some of it to let the key walls be where they should be. When we get here, we'll let there be key walls on both sides. Let's just take one of these guys, drag it out this direction, and then we can actually change the key wall setup over here. And then I want to make sure we get this on the right side, so I think I have to pull it this way. Yeah. So we're going to grab from here, pull it all the way over to here with anarchy on. Get rid of this little path, although I do think there's something there because this is a... Actually, there's totally something there. We're going to use just the bike lane. Do we do bike and path? No. Yes. Maybe. I don't know. What do we think? I'm just going to send this, frankly, straight on down. It's got constant slope on, which lets it kind of connect into here. There's nothing else we would have really built in here. And you know what? This is getting a little bit in the weeds, but I think if we do that, then I also want to come in here with some trees. We're going to do our chestnuts. We're going to do mature chestnuts in a straight line all the way along the side. I'm going to turn on fence mode and get a tree all the way up there to that corner. And then we're going to do the same thing right here and just have this nice little entrance for the people taking the bike path. We could benefit from having some bike bridge connections, which we may need to look at this time around, because we have one over here, but that's the only one. The rest are all roads. This is highway, so that doesn't really count. And we cut off the bike lane here because this is such a big bridge. I didn't want bikes going over there. All right, next up, I think we need to do the road layout, because without a good road layout, I'm not going to know where anything needs to be positioned or placed. We're going to be a little boring with some of this, in that this is going to come straight on out, and we are going to absolutely grid a portion of this build. I'm going to turn everything off except for angle and snap to existing geometry. And maybe I will turn on zoning cell tiles. Bring this out. I think we do 7 spaces. Bring this over both sides. Where does this connect up to here? I guess that is the question. I like 120 as a block size. It just works really well. If this was to come out 7, that's 6. That gives me 7, but is not actually the 7 I'm looking for. I want this to be right here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. So this needs to come out 120 as well. Connect it up and in. This can also then just come straight on out. 120 is right here. It's already trying to connect. So just give it a full connection at the 90. How do we address this area? I mean, I really do think we could get away with having a curved road that comes in and connects maybe right up to here, which then also means no reason this road couldn't come out straight at the 90. Oh yeah. And then we get a little roundabout here just for fun, right along the water. It almost makes me think too, change this around a little bit. This is going to be one way that way. This will be one way this way. Well then, although there is train traffic here, I think we're going to cross over. Cross over at 120. Follow that connection there. 120. Bam. And then we can go with our normal road. It doesn't need bikes on either side. And this normal road will then expand over this direction. There's 120 there, and there's 120 there. I'm liking the idea of having a section where we've got a lot of crossings and all the traffic just has to stop for the train. In a perfect world, we could bury the whole thing, and maybe that's something we do over here. But I'm liking that we've got, 2 different modes of transportation competing for space. All right, we're going to send this out. Let's do one more block. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Then over in this side, we still have an entirely flat section. But what I want to do is I want to kind of match this, I think, to an angle. Because if that was to come out and this was to come up, and then maybe this goes over like this direction, we could get a fun little diagonal section going here. I wonder if, let's first do it this way. Let's build this road back and base it off of kind of where the back of this road's going to go, which is going to be right here. Right? There's the last bit of that section. Does this create another intersection? I don't think so. I think this would get a roundabout. And I'm going to put one with the other cul-de-sac, excuse me. We'll do a cul-de-sac. We'll do a medium. I don't exactly know what's going to go here yet, although you know what could go over here. That sporting store that we unlocked in the last part. Commercial. This guy. Sporting goods store. It's huge, though. Maybe this needs to go, like, just on the other side of the highway. This is like still a dense area. What was this? The sports bar. That's fun. We also have the Ice Flake Arena, which, you know what? Hold on. What's the noise of this? Noise pollution is somehow low. But the Ice Flake Arena could go right over here. It's this weird little section. It would fit perfectly. And you've got a highway connection here as well as another one over here. Hold on. Close the commercial. Close the commercial. And turn off snap to roads. Let's look at this model. If we did it like this, right? You have the Ice Flake Studio logo facing the highway, which I think is what I'd want. I wouldn't want it facing the people living here. They know what the arena is. It definitely needs to be on an angle. I would want you come in, you can come down this avenue, and then I think your entrance could be there, and we have parking lots all along there. I think what needs to happen is this curve needs to be reworked just a bit. Let's go back over here. Let's grab the center median. There's a way to do this, just like this, and you're going to put grass on the middle bit, right? We're going to send this down a little bit more. Then we're going to curve right here. And then we're going to send this in and connect it right up. It gives us just a little bit more space to then position the Ice Flake Arena over here to the side. Let's look at that. So from here, you know, you're living in your home over here and you're like, oh yeah, there's an arena down the street. There's no rear connections to the pathing, which is fine with me. This can then just be yard, maybe with a gas station in the corner. We'll bring this road in, it'll connect up, and then this can be a parking lot. Oh my God. I'm a fan. Let's send this over as far as we can. And I'm going to send it right up in there. It's going to be a little turnaround there at the back. Then we connect from here. Give this a beautiful curve. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's where the arena is going to go. It's on the other side. And then what's nice about this too is you've got this train station, so you can take the train and you can come right on over to here. Now, I think I'm going to give this area its own district for the arena. Right? And then the rest of this development is something else entirely. So that's Stadium District. And then right here, Palmer Heights. You know what? Why don't we name this Walnut Heights? It's right along Walnut Street, which actually was Thornbury Ave for forever. So never trust the road naming in this game. We're going to name that Walnut Heights. And then we've got the Stadium District right here. So this can be a bit more business focused. This can then all be residential. I do think I need another connection into the area from this bridge just to give this bridge some use. I don't know if I necessarily want like an interchange between these two avenues, but what we could do is take this avenue, send it straight a little bit further, and then we will do a level crossing right there. That way there's a little bit more space for the interchange. I guess I could also consider doing this connection. If we do this, though, we're accepting that we've created another way for people to kind of come through here. So this probably needs to be a larger road. Let that be a big avenue. This one doesn't connect, so that kind of works out pretty well. And honestly, it might even dead end here. This might come around and connect over here somewhere, but we're way too far to figure that out. Now, we've got a lot of people waiting for ambulances. And if I recall, we have what? We have this hospital here. It's nearly full on storage. 5 of the 6 vehicles are already in use. And if I also look at this guy, this is just a clinic. Yeah, there's not a lot of support over here. So we need a hospital. Do we build a hospital in Walnut Heights? We could. A little bit far out of the city, though. But it might help solve some of these problems. With all of that, I think we finally need to do some zoning, because that's really the most important part here, is to get some more people in this area. So I'm going to start with the medium density. I want to use the just generic NA medium density row homes. And I want to do 3 back. And frankly, it can go all the way over. I mean, we're just going to go bam, bam. Now, don't get married to every one of these houses, because there's a chance some of them are going to change. This side, I think, will have some business. I really don't know like how much business demand we have. And I guess technically, some of these could have... I wonder if I'm able to do it this way. If I wanted to come in here and like maybe say you can go deeper than that, does that work like that? I don't know. But if I give you some more zoning options, maybe you will expand further back. Now, we've totally destroyed any demand we had for medium or high density. Let's think about our services. So we're fine on electric and we're fine on water, I believe, and sewage. Great. We want to think about a hospital. I actually have not unlocked hospitals yet. So let's go ahead and buy one of those puppies up. Let's get hospitals. Oh, and let's get a crematorium. We're going to do both. All right. Hospital. I want something not this flat. Oh my gosh, but that would fit perfectly right over here. I do think this has some upgrades. Large hospital, Eastern European architecture. The Japanese hospital's a little small. China's People's Hospital. I do like how thin this is. Like there's something about just how small the building is that I appreciate. I would want it to be, well then, you know, it would be off the immediate main road, which isn't terrible. Or we could place it along this street so it's not directly facing those homes. There's also the French hospital. That's just not going to fit this vibe or style. The UK hospital, although not necessarily the right style, would be cute over here. Like I could see us having this kind of building tucked away. I think we're just like we're like one cell short from that fitting in there. I'm not going to fight with that. This guy, it gives Gotham to me. It's not bad, but it does just give Gotham, and I don't know if Gotham is the vibe. Central Hospital. This is huge. Huge. I think this needs to go, when we continue to expand out this area, I think this needs to go like over here, because that would be a fun building to change up that skyline. We also have the Modern Hospital, which is fine. I do think the add-ons for it are nice. So that's something to consider. This hospital, it's too white. I don't like the way that looks. EE Hospital. Oh, this is kind of fun, though. Oh, man, it doesn't fit. Let's build with buildings we've not built before. I've not used this Chinese building. We're doing it? I think we're doing it. We're doing it. We're going to put that right there. It's got some upgrades. Oh, look at that. This is patient building. It adds more ambulances. Oh, we definitely want that. And patient services. It would give it a helicopter, though, and I definitely don't want to have the noise of the helicopter that close. I don't know why the pedestrian connections are apparently not working, but I will say now seeing it with this expansion, I think it has to go off the main road. What do I need to do about this pedestrian access issue? If I delete the extension, it's just fine. Like it works just fine. We could then take a path. We're going to have to anarchy the path in. But we could take a path like this. You know what? Is there an invisible car path? Is there an invisible harbor path? Invisible pedestrian path? We're going to do anarchy. And we're just going to connect these two sides together. If I then add this entrance back, it seems to have fixed whatever the issue was. I don't necessarily like that it is facing this way. But then again, if you're a patient and you're in these rooms, you're looking out here at the city, which is like, what a nice view to have when you're trying to recover. Okay, I can get into it. Now, the reason I left all of these openings, I'm sure you probably guessed, is because I want to have pathways in the back, but I don't want them to connect up to the roads in a way that creates crosswalks. We don't want a crosswalk. It's a lot of concrete, but I like it. Let's look at doing some education. This area does not have any education. What's the current population? 900 households, and we've got 250 children and 150 teens. Actually, that's a lot of both. Oh, you know what? I'm kind of jumping around. I also wanted to do some medium density stuff. Yes. Okay, let's look at medium density because I do think we'd have some in this area. I wouldn't mind having something here on the corner, right? It's got a little front access. There's no 4x4s there. We could do a 3x4. You know what? Place this here. We've got a 2x2 we could also do. Then we could even switch over to doing some low rent housing. And if we do the low rent, though, we got to make sure we keep it tiny because they do get pretty large pretty quickly. We'll place one larger building there I want that to be a gas station. Surprise, surprise. There's technically 2 different buildings that have that fronting access, but we'll place a smaller version. And then we could just do something a little bit larger there. Like, that's going to be quite big. No, it's not. It's kind of perfect. Now, we might end up locking these. That we're going to see. We might end up locking them so that they're not going to be too large in the long term. Okay. Let's get a gas station on the corner. I'm sure I could just, frankly, zone this and it would give me a gas station. But I want one that is at least 3 deep right here. I really, really like that gas station. I like that it's on a corner. And then I think I do want another one over here near Ice Flake Studios. We could just have it kind of off the main road here. Or we can have it right at the entrance. Right as you're going into Ice Flake Studios. Now, is there any road signage? I don't see any. We've got this little parking sign. But like, I really want this Ice Flake Studio logo. I want to be able to use that. Doesn't look like I'm able to do something like that. Okay, that's fine. We need some businesses. We've got mixed use. Actually, the mixed use could be fun over here as well. What if we did a mixed use building here? And what if I just did a big guy here? Again, we're going to lock some of this. But this is also going to help serve some of that demand. Like that, that's the perfect height. Do not change height. Don't change a thing about yourself. You're great. We'll let the rest of these guys come in. Behind this area, I think a park could look really nice back here. Like one of these, this would go and reach pretty far. If I could get it to stick on the side of the road I want. Of course, it never does. It never does. I want you to go this way. Yeah, like that. These are going to get too big too quick. If we do the Parkside Cafe, right? And then maybe we do another one of these. Like, we got to find a way to fit one of these in here. What's this? This is the Pavilion Restaurant. And maybe have, like, the surrounding the Pavilion Restaurant feels weird. That feels weird, at least in that spot. If anything, I'd rather that be, like, over here. Right? You've got this little restaurant over here near where we've got our stadium. I like that idea. Back to surfaces. We never built our school. Now that we've got a few more people here, we're getting closer to having really 400 some students total. I think we could build out I would like a larger school of some kind. The EE Elementary School, I do really appreciate this building. I think this building looks great. I think we could have it right off this road, kind of filling that area. Or it could be over here alongside the train. Although that's not really conducive to learning, is it? Could be down this way. There's really like 1,000 places it could go. Or we could do like this guy, the USA Northeast Elementary School, which that I actually like a lot. And I kind of think it goes right back here. And this area here gets used for something else. There's something there. There's something there. We're going to also just do Stadium District. I don't think, you know what? No, we're not. I don't think anyone's over there, but. So there's our elementary school, kind of right there on the corner, serving this community. That's great. The train is riding right through. That's awesome. Lock this guy in place. Wasn't there another one that just finished that I need to lock? All those are done. Done, done, done. This one. It's just like a nice little kind of main street that's pulling some of the height that we've had over there. Now back here, we're going to have trees. I know that for certain. This will have a lot of tree coverage. It's going to make this all kind of come together nicely. We do need a high school over in this area. I honestly wouldn't mind doing this guy. I know this is the Netherlands pack, but that ties into the rest of our build so far. It's weird to have it next to the stadium. That doesn't make any sense. Or we could do a bigger one like the UK secondary. This is just huge, but if there was ever a time to do it, now would be it. Because you know what this allows us to do? For now, we tack that on to right here. What this allows us to do is then we take a road and bring that road straight up here and go around the side, around the back. Because this road here, what is this? Ironwood Street is already super short. It dead ends at the hospital, so it's not like we're really losing a whole ton of road space. With the right amount of trees on both sides, that's going to look great. Are these both add-ons? Yeah, this is an extension indoor sports and an extension for science and technology. Things we can think about in the future, but now we have like a bigger school here, which is great. I do think we want another fire station. We're still small enough, though, that I think these small little guys are really all we need. We don't need anything super crazy. The city firehouse could look nice, kind of matching some of these taller buildings. Could it fit? It could fit right there. Like it literally could fit right there. But I think the city firehouse actually makes a little bit more sense maybe being down this way, closer to Ice Flake and the arena. I'm actually going to rotate it so it's facing this way. Has no upgrades, but that's okay. That works out pretty well. It also helps continue that height we have here. And honestly, I might just place a similar police station like right near it. This guy, I do think is going to go right here. Right? Bringing those services in, kind of surrounding some of this residential. We can still fit some other houses here. Now, back to this. Now I see this, and I wonder if I can get away with this park. If we turn off all the snap twos, and I rotate this around. No, there's just no world. There's no world where this is going to work. You know what? This is actually a great park to have over here. What is this one? This is the Hedge Park. If we place the Hedge Park over here, and then we connect up these paths, we've basically created a huge complex over here. And if you're at the hospital, you can come out here, you can walk around, you can get some space, catch your breath. I'd love to see these connected to one another. So I am going to use Anarchy for this, and we're going to stick it to the ground, and we're going to go just like this, and I'm going to go just like this. Right? And then we're going to use the Better Bulldozer mod. We're going to bulldoze individual items and just get rid of this whole hedge, as well as these homeless encampments. I know they're there, but I don't want to see them. I think this needs to be filled with a surface, and I'm just going to keep Anarchy on for this section because there's just no reason for me to stress over this. But all of this is going to get a grass surface right up to the side here, all the way down this way, and all the way back up and in. We'll even go ahead and fix that little section there. So we've got just a big park kind of surrounding the hospital, giving space for the noise to dissipate from Ice Flake Studios. Let's grab some trees. I'm going to keep them locked. Let's also grab the alders. You know, we're big fans. And can I do some here? I can. We're going to place just a few here to kind of block the parking lot. And that way it's also a barrier so that if a car loses control, it doesn't run right across the street into the houses. Okay, that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. A little bit more Anarchy than I prefer, but I'm not mad about it. Let me just slap down some trees here in the middle of this section. I think it's going to go a long way to making this look a little bit nicer. That looks pretty decent. All right, now that we've done some parklands, we got to go back to looking at all of our services because I kind of just keep abandoning the services halfway through. There's currently no bikes or no buses over here. Our bus lines as they are, like this guy comes down and around, connects over there. We also have a bus line right here that goes up and connects over there as well. This could connect down and in. This orange bus line, Bayview to Davin. And it could come across the bridge and connect over here, which I actually think could be a pretty decent idea. It would remove this bus connection here. But honestly, if you work here, there's stops right here. It's not a super far walk. So what I think we do, and I'm really liking using the bus stop shelters. I think they're really helpful. If I place a stop here, then it would turn down this way. This is going to service the high school. It could turn down this way, and it could stop right here, or the elementary school, and then stop right here in front of the high school. And then honestly, I think it would turn back around. We could have another stop here because eventually there's going to be more development over here. So this stop would make sense at that point. Right now, it's not going to make a ton of sense, but I think it'll work in the long run. And then if I come here, I don't want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of this one. Well, I just got rid of the one I wanted to keep. So hold on. This needs to connect over to here, right? Then this Bayview Davin would connect to here. And it would connect here and here. And it's going to stay along that main road, which is super helpful. But I also think we need like a dedicated connection through here. Now, we've got a lot of traffic here. There's probably also just a ton of people moving in, a ton of people trying to get places. Like part of this traffic is just going to happen. We have a blue line, the Sylvester Kent line, that cuts right on through and then takes the highway to get all the way down to Kent. I would not want to interfere with that. But at the moment, we're going to have the ferries take care of getting people from here over to here. I don't need a bus line going from here to here. But I would like a bus line coming from the train station kind of throughout this area. I think the way I'd want it set up is we'll pick you up right here out front of the train. We'll loop around. We'll come right down into here. This is a tight intersection. So I would say I'd rather have a stop here for the buses, because then if you wanted to, you could walk down here into the stadium. We'll put paths on both sides so it's easier for pedestrians. Now we're going to switch over to just a regular stop sign, and we'll have a stop sign right here kind of serving this area. You can then drive up here. We could have a bus stop with bikes right here in the middle, which services this area. Some of them are a little close. That's okay. It'll then come up. It'll use this stop, and it's going to come back down. As it comes back down, we'll have another stop right here. Yeah, we're doing it. I know they're very close. They're a block away, but they're going different directions. And then this could come down this road, turn here, and stop right here before turning back over into our train station. And that allows this to also service the high school, which is pretty valuable. All right, let's change this to a purple. I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other at the moment. So it's serving this whole area and getting you connected into the train, which is then going to get you quicker from here to here into the heart of the city. Then you can fan out from there. And I guess that means we've got to figure out what the ferries look like then, because we've already done part of the ferries, but we haven't actually done the other side. So if you recall, in a previous part, I've changed the ferries so that they're functioning as little bridges between two sections. So there's going to be a ferry line right here. If I turn on Snap 2, there we go. So let's pause this real quick and let's get rid of this ferry line. Get rid of this ferry line right here, right? We actually just get rid of both. Let's build this guy. We could even build it so it's auto connecting in, but I'm actually going to send it down just a touch. Just like that. It doesn't have to be pretty. They're ferries. The way they drive around is already just like haphazard enough. I'm not pressed about it. So this will go from here to here. It's really not necessary right now, but this will go here to here. This, which is stopping there, is also going to then stop over here before it turns back around. Is that stopping on either side? No. It's stopping here as a transfer and stopping there. It's really serving as an industrial kind of connection. So there's a few extra stops on it, but that's okay. And do I have enough ferries to service all this? Vehicles boarding 5 of 20. Boarding en route, en route, en route, en route, en route. We only added 2 new stops, or 2 new ferry lines, so we should be just fine. But that way they serve as connections across each point. Oh, that's great. That's great. All right, so we've got ferries, we've got some buses, we've got bikes. I do wonder, do we want to have more bikes? I mean, we've got this connection here. Because we've added buses on both sides, we have unfortunately removed the bike lanes that are here, but the sidewalk's bigger, so that's fine. Then we've got a bike lane that goes through the middle here, and you can fan out from there. And then this here's got a bike lane that goes along the edge. I do think I want to create some kind of parking structure for this ferry. So if I was to just use a regular ploppable parking lot, nothing extravagant, nothing crazy. You know what? Actually, I like this better. Let's do this. We're going to place this parking lot right here. I know they just thumbs it down, but it is valuable. So chill, people. Chill. Yeah, I guess having a bike connection and pedestrian connection is what we really need here. I'd love for it just to come right through here. Just like so. Can I do this without connecting to anything, though? And, like, have this... Okay, hold on. Hold on. We got to move this over just a little bit. I don't want to move it over an entire tile. But just a skosh. So that we can then come right from here. Yeah, I guess that works. Connect that up and in. Now we've got an additional connection there. Right? We've got a parking garage for... Really, it's designed to be for the ferry. Someone's already taking it. Like, you know we needed something if someone is immediately taking it after it's been built. But look at that. Now I've got a nice connection there that connects into this intersection. It reconnects you back into the bike lanes. I mean, the only other connection we have is down here. So being able to go past this intersection entirely and connect down here is great. It almost makes me think we actually remove the bike lane from all this. It's removing an additional lane of traffic. Right? And the bike lane then moves over to the coastline. Is that redundant? It might be. Okay. We're going to leave it for now, but I do think we're onto something there. I'm loving this one-way setup. I do think the road leading into here, though, needs to be upgraded to have more lanes. Let's turn on all of our snap twos. We're going to want this to have multiple lanes. That can have 2 lanes going that way. That way we just have a little bit more spread. I think that's perfect. All right. Then what we want to do for the rest of this part is I think I just want to get these 2 little blocks finished out. Okay, so I went ahead and just put in some grass surfaces. I expanded the grass surface around the stadium. So now we have that covering both sides of the stadium, as well as some grass surfaces and a basketball court here along the quay wall, which is perfect. Now, the last thing I really want to do today is make sure we've got a parking lot right in this area to support our new stadium. So let's figure out how we want to do that. I mean, I know what I want to do. Let's be real. I want to use the little alleyways and do it this way. Have I gone through and tried to figure out how to use the, what is it called? Domes parking? No, I have not even given it a second thought since I last brought it up. So that's obviously not what we're going to go with, but let's go ahead and use the alleyway, and we're going to use the, I think, just perpendicular parking. We could do the one way, right? And we could do, a whole sec that goes this way, come back. Let me just do this as a measurement. If we go that direction and we came back, then we went out again. If I didn't do it exactly on those tiles, right, we could send this out and we'd have 2 going that way. I mean, I guess we'd want 1 more. That way we have 2 going to the left and 2 going to the right. Okay, we can make this work. This is going to work. Let's do this, and let's go ahead and just give this a pretty significant border. I am going to just push this back a bit. Right, we would have cut into the hill for some of this parking lot. We'll send this back further. Then I think this road is going to come straight over to here. I want to have an entrance there. I'd love to have an entrance over here, which I guess we could do with something like that. Just because that's where, if we look at the actual decals, that's where that little road, the sidewalk piece looks to be. If I turn all this off, how close can I get this? I can go right to here. Then we can come up to here. Let's turn back on snap twos and send this back over, right? So that gives us that section as a parking lot. And then it's a stadium, so I'm also going to want parking on this side. We're going to want to have pretty substantial parking infrastructure over here. But I think this side here will only have the top pieces. So let's do this. Let's send this piece straight on over. Let's send this piece straight on over. I want to be able to fit 4, though. So maybe I actually start here at the top to fit a 4th in there. Not perfectly even, but pretty freaking close. Then we want to rotate some of these. So I think all of these are going to go this way. These will go this way. These will go this way. And these will go this way. That way you've got clear in and out sections of the parking lot. It gives us this weird triangle, but I think some trees right here, kind of connecting along the back, and then a road connection, or excuse me, a path connection, makes this make more sense. Like we bring this connection right up and in, turn all this off, and give it a beautiful curve. Just like that. Bam. Now you can easily get over here. I know I was thinking about doing a overpass for this other connection, but I'm actually, the more I'm sitting here, the more I'm thinking, no, I'd rather this just be connected just like this. Another path to connect into the parking lot. And then maybe we will do just a little bit of move it here. That actually looks great. It has 2 entrances. I think this one's going to be heavily taxed. I mean, that's if, you know, in real life, there'd be a ton of people coming all at once. I don't think it works that way in this game, so it's probably not a big deal. We could also just do one more connection right here. The benefit to doing this many connections too is that with all these lights and crosswalks, it requires you have to go slow, which I think works out nicely. Now, I think the way to do this is let's grab our road connection, and right where this first parking lot space is, let's send this road surface all the way down to fill that first parking spot. Similarly, here in the middle, right where this first parking spot is, send it all the way up this way. And then we'll do the same thing here. Here's that first parking spot. Connect to this first parking spot. This one's a little bit more funky. I think this is how I want to do it. Right, a road border along there, and then in the center, we're going to do unmowed grass. Fill this whole section. Boom, now we got some grass there as well. I do think I placed some rocks here along this edge so that when you're coming off the highway, you know, there's no reason for you to accidentally, you know, drive into our beautiful stadium. So I think right here we're going to do something similar where I'm going to have rocks that kind of align this curved edge, so that if people are trying to get out quickly, they can't. And then I want to use a different tree. I'm thinking we use the birch for this area. And I'm wondering, can I fit this even in here? Is it going to be too big? No, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. Place this birch right here. Send it all the way out. I want them all to be the same size. I'm thinking this younger size is right. And let's increase the distance to 10. Right? We'll do this here. Place another set right here. I'd love a third there if I can. Yep. And then we'll do one right here in that spot. The spacing there isn't, absolutely perfect, but it's not bad. Let me line up with this guy, which we know works. And then let's see, can I just place some individual ones in here? It's going to be real finicky, but I think we can do it. Oh, it doesn't look like I can. In that case, let's go back to doing some rocks right along here. I don't know why I'm choosing to place these individually, but just a deterrent from people driving over this portion of grass, right? Then we've got this beautiful parking lot for Ice Flake Studios. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Over here, I do think it would look a lot nicer if we used this dirt texture. And kind of coming off of this road, we had some dirt that just kind of went up and around. Just give it a little bit of something. Just like that. Right? Right? And then let's place down a few larger rocks. And we will place down just a few oaks. That's a nice expansion. And I'm happy we're on the other side of the canal. So that means the next part, we're going to expand this canal and get it to connect to the other side of the river, or the other side of the island or peninsula. And I think that's going to help us a lot. One thing I will praise myself for and just pat myself on the back a bit, even with all these people moving in, other than one tiny moment of traffic we saw over here, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. Like these intersections we've got and the highway connections we've built, I think are doing exactly what we want them to do. Alright guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lorelai, follow your dad out. I can't have your tippy taps. I can't edit them out.